Hi, everyone.
We have wanted to do this update for a while about just answering different questions that we've gotten from supporters and friends and family. We've been in Colombia now over 6 months, and so it really is starting to feel like home.
Almost 7.
Almost 7.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
It's amazing.
It's super wild.
Yeah.
Our first question is, what is a small thing that has made you happy to be in Colombia?
I like this one. This one's fun. For me, 2 things come to mind. One, Medellin is in the middle of the Andes Mountains, and we're in a valley. And so there's nowhere you can go in the city and not see a view of the Andes Mountains. And it's just stunning. I don't think I'll ever get over it.
Yeah.
Being able to look up and just see these glorious mountains. The other thing that comes to mind for me is the fruit. There are so many amazing tropical fruits here, and especially with pregnancy, I've been obsessed.
So good.
So, yeah, those are mine. What about you?
For me, there's lots of really small things about Colombia that have been really great that we've really enjoyed. But one thing I particularly love is on our walk to language school every day. There's this tiny old Colombian woman who has this cart on the sidewalk, and she makes empanadas from scratch. And we go there almost every day. And so she's learned who I am and learned my order. And every day when I walk up for $1, I can get a pastel, which is basically just a large empanada with a fried egg and ground beef in it for breakfast. And it's delicious and super great. I really love it.
The next one's kind of related, actually, is what is your favorite Colombian food? Is it those pastels?
Well, those are really great, but I think my favorite Colombian food is one of their soups. Colombians are really great at making delicious soups. It's called ajiaco. And ajiaco is a soup with corn and chicken and cream and 3 different types of potatoes and Colombian spices, and it's delicious. I really love it.
I agree. Their soups are amazing. Yeah. I think mine is so basic. It's a buñuelo, which is, I don't even know if you should call it a food. It's a treat. It's a fried ball of dough that has a little bit of cheese mixed into it. And it is divine. It is straight from Jesus. I'm convinced.
The next question is, have you been able to find community in Colombia? The short answer to this question is yes, we have been able to find community in Colombia. We're really thankful that we're living here on the campus of the seminary.
Yeah.
That's given us a built-in community, and we've especially, for these first 6 months, found community with the other professors and other missionaries who are here at the seminary.
Yeah. Yeah, it's also, the flip side of that is that it's hard. It's hard because outside of the seminary, all of our relationships are in Spanish. And we're certainly at a point with Spanish now where we can get around the town very well. We can have daily conversations, but we're not at the point where we can really fully be ourselves in Spanish. And so that's really challenging in those relationships. It just feels like there's always more that we want to give, but that's the reality of being a missionary. The first few years are oftentimes lonely because of the language and cultural barrier. And I think for where we are, we're doing great.
We'll get there.
We'll get there. Oh gosh. The next question is, have you fixed the maggot situation?
So a little bit of background here. Probably about a month after we arrived, we found some maggots in our trash can, which was a relatively traumatic experience for Courtney. We have since learned it's not terribly uncommon. We're in a hot, humid place. This is something that happens, and you learn tips and tricks to throw away food more responsibly, basically.
I just couldn't handle it. I think I put a blog up on our website about it, if you want to read the details of our maggot trauma. We have
not had another big run-in with maggots. We have mostly fixed it, but little critters in our kitchen is still
common.
Still a reality.
Yeah, we have little pantry mites. I don't know what you would call them. They're tiny little bugs that just get in everything. And about a month ago, I was eating lunch.
Yeah.
Greek yogurt, fruit, granola. halfway through it and I look into my jar of granola and it is just crawling with these little bugs.
Yeah.
And I was pregnant, of course. I didn't cry, which I was very proud of myself.
Yeah.
But I did just lay on the couch and do nothing the rest of the day.
Yeah. Next question. What first world luxury do you miss the most?
Ooh.
I think for me, the thing I miss the most from America and maybe first world luxury is just the sort of simplicity and freedom of being able to walk outside, get in my car, and especially drive to a park or drive to the mountains and go on a hike.
Somewhere where it's quiet.
Yeah, somewhere it's quiet, the air is fresh, or out in nature. The city of Medellin has relatively good public transportation, but still can take a long time to get somewhere. To get outside the city is relatively difficult. So
Yeah.
I think that's probably the thing I miss the most.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I'm tempted to say bugless food. I miss bugless food. But I think I also, one of the biggest things I miss is hot water. Yeah, we don't have any type of centralized hot water in our house. And so, you know, washing the dishes, we hand wash everything. It's in cold water. Our laundry's in cold water.
Yep.
Our showers do have like electrical Insta-Hots, kind of jimmy rigged to the shower head. So they're hot-ish, but they're very finicky.
Yeah, very delicate.
Very delicate. And you have to decide between water pressure and temperature. Yeah, so I think when I go back to the States to visit, I'll be spending a lot of time in the shower.
Next question. What is your daily routine like?
Yeah. Well, it's very simple these days. So as you guys know, we're in the middle of language school. We're in a 14-month immersive language program. We have classes 3 or 4 hours every morning. And so we wake up at 7, have breakfast here. Well, Devlin oftentimes waits to visit the empanada lady.
Of course, of course.
And then we walk to school. School's about a 45-minute walk. Yeah, and then we go to our classes. At class, we have a grammar class where we're going through a curriculum, and then we have a conversation class that's all focused just on speaking and listening. Yeah.
Yeah, then after class, we either get lunch out at a little restaurant by our language school where you can get a, daily menu of Colombian typical food for very cheap, or we'll just come home and eat lunch. And then we typically spend the afternoon studying Spanish or watching TV in Spanish or running various errands that we need to run. And then we have dinner at home and relax and go to bed. It's a very simple, daily routine.
Yeah. Ooh, my favorite category. It's about the babies. The first question, how did you find out about the twins and what was your reaction? This is fun. So we found out that we were having twins pretty early. Right after my positive pregnancy test, I called the OBGYN and we went in for our first appointment. And I was so early, I was just over 4 weeks. So we did an ultrasound, but it was too early to see the baby. We could just see the gestational sac. And everything looked good. It was implanted well. And they asked us to come back in 2 weeks.
Yep.
So we came back a little after 6 weeks to try to confirm the heartbeat. And it was Valentine's Day.
That's right.
And I remember thinking, it's either going to be a really great Valentine's Day because we're going to hear the heartbeat for the first time, or it's going to be a really hard one. This has been my first pregnancy, but I've walked with a lot of women through miscarriage, and so we were kind of preparing ourselves for either way. And the moment that the ultrasound screen popped up, it was so clear that there were two. We'll show you guys the image. It was just a mirror image of each other. And I immediately, to the doctor, was like, ¿Hay dos? ¿Hay dos?
Are there two?
Are there two? Yeah. And she had me wait until she could find the heartbeats and then confirmed that it was twins.
Yeah, my reaction when that happened was just total shock, just complete and total shock.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I was just silent for 20 minutes.
You were.
And
You were
just-
cute. You were like grinning to yourself.
Yeah,
when
I
you
think
were
it was,
silent.
it was
Yeah.
a mix of like silence and nervous laughter as I processed all the many ways that our life is going to change. But it certainly was an exciting time, but it was very shocking. Next question, very easy. Do twins run in your family? No, they don't run in my family. They don't run in Courtney's family. This is a complete surprise and biological roll of the dice that just happened.
Are you planning to raise your children in Colombia?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're here for the long haul. And so we anticipate being here for the majority of our careers unless, you know, God changes our plans or something significant happens otherwise. But we are planning on being here. We're planning on giving birth here. We're planting roots here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How can we practically support you as the twins arrive? This is a sweet question. Yeah, a few things come to mind for me. The first, practically, is be praying for us.
Of course.
Be praying for us. Giving birth in a new country is scary. In a country where we don't fully speak the language or know the culture. But the Lord has been with us every step of the way, and we've had a really positive experience, and so we're just trusting the Lord each day. Certainly be praying for labor and delivery. Be praying for the health of the babies.
Another ways that you can help us and support us with the twins is we do have a baby registry on Amazon. It's really hard to mail stuff here, and it'd be hard for us to bring a bunch of stuff back from the U.S. So Amazon is really the best way to get us baby stuff. The link is below. If you are feeling generous, you can totally help us out by visiting our baby registry. And then, as always, the best way to support us is by joining our sustainability team. If you don't already know, we have a team of people who are sustaining supporters for us, who contribute financially, monthly or yearly in some sort of regular interval. Our monthly need is going to increase when we have twins, mostly because of increased health insurance prices.
Yeah.
But if you're not on the sustainability team and would like to join, we'd love to have you. Again, link is down below, and you can contact us with questions.
Reach out to us and we'll set up a meeting together, and we can go more in depth about what our ministry looks like here and decide if we're a good fit for you and your family and your finances.
Next question is, what has your experience been like with Colombian healthcare? Our experience with Colombian healthcare during Courtney's pregnancy has been extremely positive.
Yeah.
We are extremely happy with our OBGYN. She's super great.
Yeah, I feel really comfortable with the hospital and the care that I've been receiving. It is interesting learning different cultures. For example, in Colombia, it's very rare for the fathers to be present during birth.
In the delivery room.
In the delivery room. And that was something that was really important to Devlin and I. And it turns out there's only 2 hospitals in the city that even allow fathers to be in the delivery room. So that was a big part of our decision of what hospital we were going to go to. So there's been lots of little ins and outs to learn. How is Spanish going?
Yeah, I think for both of us, Spanish is going all in all pretty well. I think we're both pretty proud of the progress that we have made over the past 6-7 months. We've learned a ton. We don't have nearly the same nervousness in sort of daily life with Spanish as we used to. At the same time, like so many things, the more you learn how much you have left to learn.
Yeah.
And we, at the same time, are proud of how far we've come, but also are very much aware of how much left there is to learn.
Yeah.
I think I feel this especially as I think about the prospect of beginning to teach classes in January. That feels really soon, and to teach classes in Spanish at a college and master's level, I still definitely feel like I still have a hill to climb.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
What is your biggest victory in Spanish? This is kind of a fun question. Well, for me, I've had a few times where taxi drivers have thought that I'm Colombian.
Yeah.
And that's just the best feeling ever. If you're learning a second language, for someone to think that you're a native is really cool.
I think my biggest victory in Spanish is yet to come. Just yesterday, as of the day we're filming this, the head of research at the seminary asked me to give a 2-hour lecture presentation on my dissertation to all of the faculty and teachers at the seminary. So that's going to be in August. So you can be praying for that. I need to put together a 2-hour academic presentation in Spanish.
Last question is, what is your favorite Spanish word that you've learned?
So my favorite Spanish word is quisquilloso. Quisquilloso.
Quisquilloso, yeah.
I don't love the word because of what it means. It means picky or choosy, but I just like how it sounds, and I like saying the word quisquilloso. Quisquilloso. I think it's a fun word.
I love that. I don't really have one that comes to the top of my head. There are some words that like we just don't have words for in English. So for example, like anteayer means the day before yesterday. And I just love that we have a word for that. Every time I say the day before yesterday now in English, I get really frustrated because it's just anteayer. It's so much easier to just say that. Or the other with pregnancy that's been very helpful is the word maluca. Maluca is a word that means you're not feeling well, but it's not like you're sick.
It's not anything specific. You're just feeling kind of crappy.
You just feel bad. It's just like one of those days that you want to lay under the covers and not get up out of bed. That's maluca. And I really like that because I've had to use that a lot throughout my pregnancy. But it's a feeling that's really difficult to explain in English. So, yeah.
Yeah, well, that's it. Thanks everyone for asking us some questions. Below this video, again, you can get links to our baby registry. There's also some information about our missions organization that is going through a name change. So if you could just skim that, that would be great.
Yeah. And if you guys think of other questions, go ahead and send them to us because we love to answer questions periodically in our updates. So if you think of anything else, send it our way.
Yeah.
And we'll
see you
chat
later.
soon.
Bye.
Bye.